Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Design Hub, the official podcast of the Institution of Engineering Designers. I'm Molly, your host, and today we have a very exciting guest, Libby, also known as the CEO of the Engineering Designers. So, I'm going to ask you some questions now.
Fantastic.
So, can you share a bit of your background to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I'm not an engineer and I'm not a designer.
Why?
So my background is I've got a degree in geology, and back in 1997 I moved back to the area and was looking for a job, and a temporary position for 6 months came up at the IED, working in membership.
Very temporary.
And here I am 27 years later. Very nearly 28 years later, still here. So when I first came to work for the IED, I was working in the membership department. So the job that Linda does now, processing applications for membership and registration. And then when that temporary contract came to an end, the person running the education department was leaving, so they moved me sideways. So I did the job that Joe does now for another 3 years or so, looking at course accreditations and running the EMPD conference. And then in 2001, there was a vacancy for the CEO, so I was made acting secretary in January of that year. And then they haven't managed to get rid of me. So I'm still here, still doing that job.
Temporary role turns permanent.
Absolutely.
What a story. So, as you said, you've been here for over 2 decades now. Are there any key moments in your career here that's really stood out to you?
I suppose it's been what's been useful to me is being able to work in both main departments before becoming CEO. So even though it was quite a long time ago, I do have the experience of knowing what it's like to process membership applications, knowing the service that members need, but also working with the universities and the colleges. When I first came here, the institution had just absorbed the Institution for CAD, which was the ICAD, which was then became our computer-aided design division, which obviously has grown hugely into RCP and our CAD-MAM registrations. But the main thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that we as an institution have gained our own rule charter.
Oh yeah.
So we started working with product design community in 1981 when we accredited our first ever product design course, which was at the then South Bank Polytechnic, which is now London South Bank University. And for many years, our product design members have been saying to us that they really wanted to be able to have a professional recognition equivalent for chartered engineers. And so we'd been working with the Privy Council for many years about how to go about that. And the idea behind a Royal Charter is to recognise the service that sector provides to the public good. So we had quite a few discussions with the Privy Council and with other organisations that work in the various design communities and with the Engineering Council. And they all supported our request to the Privy Council. It's actually a request of the Queen, as it was then, via the Privy Council.
Really fancy. You had to go to the higher ups.
You do, and a Royal Charter is quite an odd thing because it's decided by Privy Council. Apparently, all Privy Council meetings. Privy Council is made up of ministers, past and present, in the government. All Privy Council meetings are apparently carried out stood up because they're short and sweet.
You're talking about the actual meeting, not the people, right?
No, the people are stood up in the meeting.
Oh, right, okay.
Apparently. I've never been to one, but apparently. And they're short and sweet basically because they've got a lot of work to get through and they don't do faffing about and they get on with it.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. So we made an application finally in 2011. We submitted an application. It's a really long process. And we were granted our Royal Charter in 2012.
And what was it like when it was all finalised? Well, when you were confirmed to have that Royal Charter?
It wasn't a big date, actually. To tell you the truth, we'd done all the research. We'd taken years. We'd written the application. We'd done had all the backup support from other organisations. We put our application in, and then you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And the first thing I heard about it was I got a phone call from the accounts department at the Privy Council saying they needed us to pay £3,000 for our Royal Charter, which is a document printed on vellum. And I said, oh, have we been granted our royal charter? And they'd forgotten to tell us that we'd been granted our royal charter. So that's the first thing I knew was I was asked
for money.
Yeah. So it was obviously fabulous. It was really exciting. And it just confirms the professional status of product designers within the design community, and the fact that what they do and the importance they have with regards to selection of materials, sustainability, safety, manufacture, all that kind of stuff is really important. It's confirmed.
Well, yeah, everything got to be designed, hasn't it? Like, is there ever a moment where you have worked with somebody where they've like maybe seen their design and they've really thought, this is how I know I've made it?
Yeah, I think that's the joy of working in the design sector, whether that's engineering or product design. Quite a lot of the other organisations, I would imagine their members don't really get to see their work on show, whereas actually most designers do. And I do remember talking to one of our trustees many years ago, and he said he used to work for Nokia, and he said he knew that he'd made it as a designer when he was on the tube, and somebody pulled out a phone and it was one that he'd made, and just that joy of, oh, that's mine.
That must have felt like brilliant, mustn't it? Like you can see something that was an idea in your head to be like physically created. Oh, that would be brilliant. So that was in the past. Now, are there any current projects that we're working on? Because obviously it's the 80th anniversary this year. IED is turning 80. Brilliant. Bit old, but I'm not one to judge. But are there any like current projects that you can talk about that are going to go on this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in professional institution terms, we're actually quite young. We're kind of adolescent.
Oh,
The ICE is over 200 years old. So we're still considered to be new kids on the block. And there's an awful lot of people that haven't heard of us because we are a relatively small organisation. There are 36 engineering institutions in the UK. Or there might be 39 now. The number flexes. But quite a few people say to us, oh, we haven't heard of you. Are you new? And comparatively, yes, we are new, but we've also been around long enough to know what we're doing. And that's generally the main focus of the projects for 2025 is getting our name out there. Because we're really, really good at what we do at the institution. We're really good at helping designers in CAD, product design, engineering design, environmental design, reach the pinnacle of their career, gain the registration that they deserve. So, as you said, it's our 80th anniversary. We've got loads of stuff going on. We've got a fellows reception. We've got launching some new awards.
Ooh, can you tell us anything about the awards?
Well, we've got 3 new awards, 2 of which are quite easy to describe. One is about sustainable design.
Right.
And a product or a service or a process that's been designed sustainably and with the environment in mind. The second is inclusive design. So again, a product or a process which has been designed to emphasize the notion of inclusivity within the community. And the third is a bit of a nebulous one. We're still thinking about that one. And it's in memory of a former trustee of ours, Colin Edsom, who unfortunately passed away very suddenly a couple of years ago. But his joy of design, his joy of engineering, and we want to be able to celebrate that in some way, but we're not quite sure yet. So there will be criteria released on each of those 3 awards.
Ooh, sounds exciting. Now, as you've been here for a while,
So long.
and you've loved every minute of it, how have you seen that being a member of this institute has benefited anyone, whether or not that's being all the way up at chartered engineer or even just a registered CAD practitioner? Have you seen it really help advance people's careers? Have you seen the benefits in person?
Just the people that we talk to, one of the projects we're doing for our 80th anniversary is talking to a wide range of different members about why they joined the IED, and what the benefit has been to them. And we see those benefits, whether that's we're at an exhibition and a student member will come along and have a little bit of a chat and meet us, and then talk to one of the volunteers that's on the stand. And I think last year we had a student member come along and do that, talk to a volunteer on the stand, and happen to get a placement with that volunteer. So that is an immediate tangible benefit. The fact that we do have members who work in the product design community who can now become chartered individuals, which is something that was never available to them before, and it's something that only we as an organisation can offer. But just the number of people that are replying to our call for case studies and talking to individuals about how the IED has helped them in their career, whether that's networking, whether that's giving them the confidence to become professionally registered, to apply for a different role, to apply for a increase in pay, and just we exist to help members in their career as designers, and I think we do an excellent job, and our members agree with that. So it's really gratifying to see. We've got some members of council who have been members with us since they were students, and
Wow.
I first met them 20 odd years ago on a student placement or competition, and to see them develop throughout their careers and to become chartered individuals and trustees of the institution has been great.
And as the CEO, seeing them grow is really, really something, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you get to see someone start off their journey and they're with us the whole way through, and you get to see as they develop, right?
Yeah, and our members are really quite proud of the longevity that they have within the institution. We did a survey, it's quite a few years ago now, so we probably need to update it. But we just did an analysis of the average length of time that somebody is a member of the institution, because our retention rates are quite good. And on average, once somebody joins us as a graduate member or as an MIED, they will stay with us for about 23 years.
Wow.
Which is not bad, considering quite a lot of people join us in their 40s and their 50s. But yeah, and it is lovely to see that, to see people develop and to gain the recognition that they deserve as professionals in the design community.
Well, you mentioned having members of council join you as students, or you met them through a student competition. Do you have any advice for possible young engineers or even student members out there as to as like what they should do starting their journey? Should they do you have any advice for them?
I suppose the only thing I would say is get involved. And I know it's not within the nature of a lot of engineers to be particularly sociable, and you don't have to physically be there, but to join discussion forums, to follow us on social media, to have those, to join our LinkedIn member group, to have those conversations with people. If we happen to be in a city near you in our upcoming 80th roadshow, pop along, say hello, have a bit of cake, meet some other members, come along to an exhibition.
Yeah.
Generally it's not necessary to get involved with the IED, but just to meet other people within the engineering and design sector who might be able to help you with your careers, who can answer questions. Generally, our members are really lovely and they are very helpful. And if anybody's got a technical question, if you need mentoring, if you need just what seems like a silly question about, if you're working from home and you haven't not really quite sure about how office politics works or whatever, just drop them a line, ask a question on LinkedIn. Somebody will give you some really useful advice.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things I've found about engineers is that in order to get somewhere, they realize that they have to work together. And I think that's a really good opportunity for especially like younger people who are entering the field to sort of still be uneasy, like on footing and stuff, but having the knowledge that there's people out there, people who are experienced, that can then tell you everything's going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it. It's a few simple steps or a few very complex steps from some of the stuff I've seen. But no, I think that's a really good opportunity to network, especially within this institution. It's people within your field, isn't it? Even if it's different disciplines.
Yeah, and I think we're quite unusual in terms of professional engineering institution that we are cross discipline. So that's the reason why a lot of our members choose to be members of our organisation, as well as sometimes their home institution. So somebody will be a mechanical engineer, but they'll come to us for the design influence. And I've had members say to me in the past, the reason I joined the IED is because I know that there will be that breadth of knowledge within the membership. So whether that's sitting next to somebody at a presentation or an awards lunch, or whether that's communicating with them online, they're going to have a different point of view from me, but it's going to be really helpful. And we are such a broad church. We have such a wide range of members. But that makes a really good mix and a really good base for sharing knowledge and information and communication.
Brilliant. I love the fact that designers don't necessarily have to specify like one thing. They're all just they're the same group but different. Everyone's still got that individuality, especially when it comes to designing, because like you need that creativity, don't you? And it's incredible to just sort of see that, especially out in the open world. And even like for me, when I've met members or volunteers or even students that want to become members or even working professionals that want to become members, everyone seems to have a different background and their own different like story, which is just incredible to me. Now, got to ask, is there anything that you hope for the future of the Institution of Engineering and Designers? Is there any big project that you would really like to take on?
Ooh, don't think that, well, it is a big project, but it's also, again, it's a bit undefined. We as an organisation, because design is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
we as an institution have been constantly evolving the types of designers that we represent. As I say, when I first came here in 97, we just started representing CAD professionals, computer aided design professionals, which in it was itself relative infancy in the late 90s. And of course, we've got all these other influences now, such as AI, systems engineering, and BIM. And as an organisation, we are looking at how we can amend our processes and our practices and our guidelines for membership so that we can offer those designers and designers that use those tools a home within the institution. And it's not an easy ask, because in order to be able to offer membership and registration to individuals, we need to be able to assess those individuals, which means we need to have those experts within the membership and the assessment processes, the assessment panels as well. So it's a slow process, but I'm hoping that within the next couple of years we can get there and we can have not a new sector of membership, but we can welcome those that are currently seem to be on the fringes of engineering and product design, and secure a pathway through to them for registration and membership of the IED.
That's wonderful. I think like you said, it's an ever-changing world. So things like AI are becoming like a really big thing, aren't they? And that I feel like AI is definitely an important tool nowadays for engineers. And I think it'd be great if we could just include everyone. We're designers. We'll take everyone. Quirky, fun, fantastic. Right. So before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to tell the world, spread the word about?
I suppose it's just join your community, join your tribe. It doesn't have to be the IED. It could be. I mean, obviously, we'd really like it if it was the IED.
Join us.
But just yeah, give professional membership and registration a go. It can be a bit daunting. It can be a bit nerve-wracking. It can look like a bit of a threatening process, but that's why we're here. We're here to help you. And the benefits of becoming a member are so wide-ranging, just in terms of, as we've already said, communication and networking, but also all the information you can get. There's currently an awful lot of work going on within the engineering design community on ethics, and in like the Grenfell and the Horizon scandals, and there's an awful lot of guidance that's going to be coming out on that. And those sorts of things are very important to people working in engineering and design, and professional institutions like the IED are at the forefront of working on those topics and developing guidance and creating information for those individuals that are concerned. So basically, yeah, come join us, join the community. We're actually really nice people.
We're really friendly. Yeah.
We are.
And where can people find any more information on yourself or even the IED?
Well, there's probably not a lot of information about me.
I don't know. I found you do have a wiki page.
Do I?
Yeah, you've got a wiki page.
Oh, that's a bit frightening.
I think you've got a wiki page. I definitely found
the IED's got a wiki page.
Yeah, there is a photo of you on it.
Is there? Oh,
yeah.
No. But yeah, IED website, ied.org.uk. We also have, thanks to you and Harrison, we also have lots of social media platforms. So we've got Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn. What have I forgotten?
We don't have Twitter, or now known as X, anymore. Yeah, no, literally just we will hopefully be making a TikTok, and we will be having a YouTube for this lovely podcast. You'll be watching it on that. Yeah. But no. Well, I think is that everything? Anything else?
I think so. Did I make any other notes? Oh, just come along and see us at any of our events for our 80th year. We're doing a roadshow around the UK. We've got an awards lunch. We've got a fellows reception. And do a case study for us. If you're an IED member, please do one of those case studies so where we can celebrate 80 years of IED membership.
Yeah, isn't there a special issue magazine coming out?
We're actually going to do probably a printed publication. We're probably going to do an
Ooh,
actual printed publication of 80 case studies of our members over 80 years, which would be lovely.
that would be fun. Um, well, I think that's everything. So thank you so much for joining us today on the very first episode. Not daunting at all for anyone involved. Like Libby said, we do have Instagram, we've got LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, and we'll be having a few more social medias come along. So make sure to check us out on that and keep up with any updates. Well, thank you for listening, and until next time, goodbye.